So, about a month or so before making this video, I discovered something I never thought I would. This tiny island that I live on is home to a budding Beyblade community across the border. Those of you watching abroad may or may not know this, but Ireland's province of Ulster is a part of the UK, a part more forgotten than Wales, but a part nonetheless, and it has been this way for over the last 100 years. I won't get into why it is this way because I like being monetized. Anyway, on Sunday the 24th of November, there will be a Beyblade tournament in Tallaght, featuring some unique rules. This is the tier list that we were given. Everything at the top is banned. All other tiers are fair game, with the catch that your deck cannot contain any bays from overlapping tiers. So, after agonising over the rules for a few days, here is what I came up with. 3 bays. An aggressive pick, conservative pick, and surprise pick. My first choice was definitely going to be my Hell's Chain 980 Orb. It has amazing defense and stamina thanks to its outward weight distribution and good LAD thanks to its ratchet, but that doesn't mean it has no attack potential. It often likes to throw its weight around to counterattack, and the orb bit provides pretty good stability all things considered, allowing it to recover from what would otherwise be fatal blows. Because Hell's Chain was considered A tier, that locks off so many good attack types for my aggressive choice. No shark, and no sword. So, I thought I'd get funny with it. You may think of it as an odd choice, but I decided on going with Leon Crest 760 Rush. Now, this bloke is hefty. Thick blade and thick ratchet. What was meant to be a defense type has become the equivalent of throwing a brick off an overpass through a car window. Its sheer weight and speed completely devastates the competition. And, because Rush has a lower surface area and less gear teeth than, say, Flat, its conservation of momentum isn't too bad either, giving it an albeit small chance to win via spin finish. So, to round off my deck, I'm choosing something from C tier. The only left spinning bay allowed in this format. Close to my heart, Lightning El Drago, 560, Elevate. Because left spin is so uncommon in X, I'm going in under the assumption I will almost always be in opposite spin matches, which is to El Drago's advantage. Opposite spin means bays hit hard, and there's also the potential to equalize spin. El Drago is definitely the most technical bay in my deck, relying a lot on launch technique to win, outspinning attack types by launching light to reduce recoil and relying on the elevate bit's LAD, or using the extra recoil of opposite spin to devastate stamina types with a banked slide launch. This thing needs a lot of luck to work, but I believe that it can take just about anything that is legal in this tournament, minus other El Dragos. In the event that happens, it's just a complete coin toss. With my deck complete, all that remains is to await the big day. God, I'm not really used to this. Well, as you can see by the state of me, I've just rolled out of bed. It is about 7 in the morning, give or take, where I am, and the drive to Dublin will be about 2.5–3 hours at least. So if I leave by 9, I should be able to get there for the event start at 12. My main concern with this journey is if my car is going to hold up. I drive a Hyundai i10 that is currently falling to bits. The rear bumper is cracked, the front bumper has a bit of plastic hanging down from underneath it. But tyres are okay, everything seems to be in working order, so I should be good to go, in theory. But let's just see if that holds up. And so, we were off. My long journey south to Dublin, down and along the familiar country roads and into town aboard my trusty nano wagon, where we make a stop just before Belfast to pick up my compatriot. This is Reese, aka the Headless Decapitator. He has a small collection of bays, knows a bit about them, but has never used them in a competitive setting. His loner deck is as follows: Rhino Horn 560 low flat. Its whole game plan is to be low enough to attack the opponent's ratchet directly and win via burst finish in the first few seconds. If it's unable to do that, it's just kind of dead in the water. Shark Edge 970 Gear Needle, an anti-attack combo. It lies in wait, conserving its stamina, and punishes hard anything that dares to take the center. Why 970? I thought I put 960 on it and it was too late to change when I realized. And finally, a normal defense build. Night Shield, 460, Orb. Does exactly what one would expect. Deflects attacks, counterattacks, and hopes to use others' recoil against them. Back on the road, we passed by the drunk teenagers' pilgrimage site of the Balls on the Falls as we took the M1 towards the border.
We're driving, we're driving, we're driving, we're driving.
And stopping again for provisions at the roadside services. Returning to the motorway freshly energized, passing this Gonga Bridge and several toll gates, we came by where all of Ireland's farmers get their bone meal.
It's definitely a mob spawner. That's their gunpowder farm.
There was also a car on the road that was falling to bits as we arrived in Dublin.
Just to be safe.
And we were finally at the venue. Underworld Gaming, Cala. First things first, I want to gauge the competition and warm up with some practice battles. Apparently Reese doesn't know how to operate a camera, but my practice battles went well, and his, not so much. As registration ended, we were all called over by Kenny, the event's organizer, where he explained the rules and how the tournament was going to play out. The first half was the Swiss format, to determine our pairings in the tag team. My first match was against fellow Northerner Rainey, where I won 4-0 that Reese neglected to film, because he was having his match against Dylan, where he lost. The second round of the Swiss, I was paired up against Nikki, where I managed to scrape back victory after El Drago burst with the overwhelming force of Leon Crest. Reese's match against Jintokyo started with a spin-out loss, another spin-out loss, and an extreme finish, losing 0-5. The final round of the Swiss, I was up against Chris. Can I manage to go 3 for 3? After a mislaunch from my opponent, I scored 3 points from the start with my Leon Crest, and cleaned up with a spin out from my El Drago. Reese's last match was against Aiden. And here are the scores. I sit at the top of the pack, tied with Dylan and staff member Jan, and Reese is... where is he? Better luck next time. Moving on to the second event, I was paired up with Avery, and Reese with Dylan. The way this event works is as follows. Play to best of 3 games. One team chooses a stadium sides, and each blader brings 1 bay to their match. The team that didn't get to choose the stadium's orientation is allowed to choose a counter pick after their opponent's bay is revealed. I decided to stick with my most reliable bay from my match, Hell's Chain. Avery, paving the way for me, takes the first match, dropping 1 point to a spin finish and then coming back for 4 points with a knockout and a burst. My match tied things up, with Chain losing me the second match to a knockout. For the tiebreaker, we chose amongst ourselves who will be in the final match and use any of our 6 bays. Avery still had faith in me, as this was my first loss of the tournament so far. Predicting another aggressive bay, I decided to take the gamble on El Drago and try to win 4 spin finishes in a row. If I lose here, we are taking the long road back to Belfast empty-handed.
Black Shield looking for any sense of grip and knock it over, but it's only giving El Drago more energy, more passion. It still keeps going until almost, but it gets restabilized. And it's still going, and it goes down. Shoot! This time it's a heavy one. El Drago trying to do something, pushing Black Shield around. Black Shield's getting pulled in the middle there, but maybe he still actually Yeah, crazy away. Pushing in, pushing in, pushing in.
I think the best way to kind of stop it is to say,
Up again. Yeah, down.
like if you have a stamina or a
Oh, shoot! Drago restabilize. Get his fraction. He's trying. He's going in circles around it, but he's tilted. He's going to fall over.
Hayden's got one right here.
And it is all down. And that's the winder versus string. Players ready. 3, 2, 1, go shoot!
On the cusp of victory, Lightning El Drago is launched out of the stadium to an extreme finish, eliminating me from the tournament. But it's not over yet. There's still Reese and Dylan's match.
Swiss went fantastic. There was literally no issues. I went 4-0, 0 losses. Was down 2 points once to a burst. As soon as the tag team started, blunder after blunder after blunder. Because Hell's Chain was meant to be a shoe-in, but somehow wasn't. And then I predicted that there'd be continue on with attack types because it was working well for them. They did not, and they went for like stamina defense. So El Drago was granted a pretty decent pick for that because spin steel, but just a bit unlucky with the extreme finish, and just that's it out.
The extreme finish was fucking dramatic.
It was dramatic as all hell, like granted, and I'm so chuffed for the guy who won. Just a little bit unfortunate on my part, but
I know, because it wasn't even immediate, because it was sitting for a wee while, just in the centre, just chugging along, and then it just had one lucky hit, and off you fucking went. I didn't fare too much better. I ate shit in the Swiss, and I ate shit in the tag teams, because I had a meme build.
it's fun. It's fun.
It was fun. Balance type and 2 nukes. It transpires isn't really the preferred modus operandi.
And so, as the day drew to a close, sun dropped lower and lower in the sky, we returned home. Not as the champions we had envisioned, but somehow, not as losers either. Wizened by the experience and with a newfound hunger to improve, we took our crushing defeat as a lesson. Because after all, you learn nothing from winning. Good match to Hayden for advancing to the semi-finals, and congrats to Rainey for winning the tournament. We'll be back one day, and that trophy will look nice on my shelf next to the OG, and my frame sketch of the Chase presenter, Bradley Walsh.
Check it ready for us there.